peace, power, and love. This morning, Humam Abdulmalik, Blackanized Report, other side of Black Report of Malik and Malik. This morning I just felt a kind of different way that I thought about as I astral travel. I was saying I want to make an impression of a persona of like righteousness, holiness, or whatever you want to say. I want to have that persona of that type of individual that's dealing with divinity in Black peace, Black power, and Black love, and Black African spirituality that's tired of the systematic endeavors of social engineering and the social narcotics and the bell curve of the think tanks that they have to keep us suppressed and oppressed. And a lot of us don't see or accept the fact that we're living in a racist society that's based on racism and capitalism that really don't have no real desire for us as a people to be the people that we are or need to be in this day and time, in this age of Aquarius. Because if we really knew who we would come out the stupor that we in as a people. Some have realized the reality of the finality that they're trying to create for us in every aspect or endeavor of our livelihood. Some of us, a lot of us also, have went through the quagmire, deceptive maze that is created, and so, like they say, or would say, I made it. But that's the whole problem when you say I. It's not never the I or the individuality. It's the we coming together in a unified effort to develop community, to protect community, to deal with community problems as a community. All dilemmas and situations and circumstances that we go through in our community are orchestrated from all the like drugs that's in our community is orchestrated, even though we, it's a two-sided endeavor. You have to give, they're going to give, and you have to receive. You put something in to get something out. But the total destruction that comes from that is what these people want. Not only the drugs, the guns that come in our community. Still a two-way street. They give and you receive, and you got to put something up for that. Because our concept has been like socially engineered. We have to see the reality. I want to say good morning to Marcelo de Pisa. I want to say Hotep, Ashe, Salam, Salamu Alaikum. and also this joint is Nicole Angeli. I want to say the same. Hotep Ashe, Salaam Alaikum, Namaste. But we got to realize that everything that's going on in our environment or community or neighborhoods or whatever is orchestrated. And we have historical proof of that those people that are on a high echelon of like their law enforcement or whatever were guilty. That is documented what they done and different reasons for why they did it. One era, it was haram that they put in our community. That was the FBI. Another, greetings, my sister, Hotep. Then another era, it was the cocaine. And that was the CIA. Documented, historical fact. It ain't something I'm just saying, I'm blaming somebody or anything like that. It was brought in by the system to systematically keep us oppressed, even though we took it not by force or whatever, but that was a methodology of making money or whatever. But each time something is put in our community, it is by those that supposed to be the protectors of society, not just our community. They be like government officials. And if you go a little bit further back, before the heroin epidemic, they had like acid or Mexican mescaline that they was experimenting on people. Even one of their own agents jumped out of a window. This is documented. It's not something I'm saying is the truth, it's the reality that this occurred. And then we went into that era of the angel dust and all those chemical drugs. All of it is like an open lab to put in our community to stop, to hinder, to slow down or whatever. And the thing about it, like when that era was going on, like heroin and stuff like that, when our people was on it, they developed what they said a war on drugs. It was a war on drugs that they said during Reagan's era and on forward from that time. The Bushes, Clintons, and the Carters, all them people, they develop a war on drugs. But now, fast forward to this time up north, where it's an epidemic upon the European ethnic group up there, so-called white people that they call. Now, it's not a war on drugs no more, mind you. It is a medical epidemic. But with us, it was a war on drugs. At that time, so many of us was incarcerated. So many of us got large sentences for a minute amount of, say, cocaine. But it was like crack cocaine, the deposit from powder cocaine that when, again, white privilege or European privilege, as I would like to say, because that's who they are, Europeans, there's no white people because there's no white land. Only land that these European comes from is the caves of Europe from the Caucasus Mountains. That's where they derive from. When they started this white talk in the 1800s, when they wanted, at that time, when Europeans were indentured servants and we were like kind of getting along, they raised the ante for them to think they are better than us. So they started calling them white, because we come from a black land. The Sudan is the land of the black. Ancient Kemet was the land of the black. And I want to say Islam more, and this is one of my younger friends I don't know why he wasn't no, let me see, professional basketball player. You can take the ball out from down the court, and he can shoot that jumper from way down there and hit all strings. I'm talking about my brother, Correll Cole Ill, a dynamic brother, very intelligent brother. My friend, comrade, and brother, always, in all ways. But our dilemma now is that they got another drug that's worse than the first two. This K2 and this other drug that really mess with your nervous system. It gives you euphoria. It gives you two different types of highs and all that. You nod, then you come up, you be active and all that. But these things they're doing, it's the system, it's a lab, it's an open lab in our society, in all our communities across the country. And they use us because our younger brothers, the statement that if they don't change their mind and their thinking and the language they use, you will always hear this: I gotta eat. The thing that they say, I gotta eat. We all gotta eat, but it's a way we eat. We don't eat by hurting our own kind. We don't hurt to go into the extreme measure of killing each other for a few dollars. We don't place no value on life anymore. We place more value on materialistic things, on things that only bring us pain. At one era in time, our youth, young adults were hurting each other for shoes, for coats. The main materialistic thing they was hurting each other for was them Michael Jordan Air Jordans, killing each other for that, for some tennis shoes that dealt with commercialized lies, talking about you can be like Mike. That was a lie, and we all knew it, but the cost of the tennis shoes they had to have. But the same type of material of tennis shoe that was created by one of the other players named Marbury, who went to China. They built a museum after him, put a statue up for him, a black man in China, because of his diplomacy, because of his marketing skills and what he did. His tennis shoes never been over $150. Even in the era when the Jordans was on like $300 or $200 and close to $300. The same material that the Jordans were made out, his tennis shoes was made out because they was made in the same area by the same people. But the thing is, he never sold his for that amount. And during that time, so many people was getting killed and robbed for their tennis shoes, and there was no change. And this so-called iconic figure, this Boule, this Negro pen, they were so great, and they talking about going down in basketball history and all that and this and that. Where was his culture history? Where was his culture understanding and his affiliation with the people? And not only that, it doesn't end there with this Boule or Negro pen. He brought into the prison that was private prisons. He even brought into that, to get extra money when he got enough money. But it's all about the money. Everybody say it's about the Benjamins and stuff like that. But how could it be about the Benjamins when it's a hindrance to us as a people, to people that don't know that they're being socially engineered through what they listen to, by what they look at, by what they read, and what's told to them? See, in our schools, it's good to get an education that is similar and equal to indoctrination. They have us doing this educational process from little, not babies, but adolescents, from the primary, kindergarten, junior primary, and all that. And we're being programmed from that period of time all up through our young ages, the 6 and all the way to 10s and 12s and the teen years, to young adults almost. And all that indoctrination or education is not geared to making us better human beings, geared to, don't even teach us how to be economically inclined in an economical capitalist system. They don't teach us about how to be entrepreneurs, about businesses and stuff like that. It teaches us and indoctrinated us to be workers, the majority. And then once we get past that level, then we got to go into the college system. And then you might can get into the avenue of what you want to be. But by that time, you have become so indoctrinated that you're ready to become a robot or a Negro pen and sell your soul for a systematic, racist system that doesn't have our best interests as a people in their documentation. Even with the so-called Constitution and all that independence that they acquired, it wasn't, neither time was we in their intellectual preponderance of us being a part of that. It was for the European male who thought they or played the roles of deity. They called themselves deities or deities back in that time of the so-called founding fathers or whatever, when they put together that piece of paper to get themselves away from the oppression of the English people or the British people or whatever. They even fought a war. So many people died from the colonists and from those people from England or Britain. But it was all a charade, because at the end of the game, when Cromwell surrendered or whatever, that last war or whatever, they, behind in back rooms, signed contracts that this country will become a corporation of England, which it is now, which we don't even research or find out anything about. See, and all that they do is keep us blinded from what they do. They keep us blinded from our story. They got us confined in 2018 years. For 486 years or close to 500 years, we was in captivity, which they call slavery. And they taught us about that in their schools. In their schools, they teach us about that captivity. They don't teach us about the magnificent civilizations that we had, or the federations that we had way before we came in contact with them. They teach you about their barbaric nature. Not all the way, because like they make it a holiday. For instance, Thanksgiving. These land grabbing thieves, that's what they were. They came from over there, 13 colonies, and didn't know how to survive. They didn't know how to plant food or any of that. They were cannibalistic, the first few winters over here, eating each other. It's a historical proof. It's not something I'm saying. Research and look. What I say, the words that come out of my mouth, read their story. It's part of their history. It's what they cover up. So you got to do a little deeper. You got to go in the rabbit hole, like in the story of Alice in Wonderland. That is symbolic of a systematically process that they go through, that they cover up. Everything, all stories have a ambiguous and another meaning to it. We got to understand that this system we under is very oppressive, it's very manipulative. It's supposed to be about democracy, but it's all about hypocrisy. And we love it, though. We love it. We've been so programmed. We've been so stroked like we're a cat. You know, they stroke us, man. They stroke us with there's an iron glove in the velvet. There's an iron fist in the velvet glove. That's what our brother Malcolm said. And all our leaders had to go through changes to develop a spiritual and a righteous demeanor to deal with this system, to deal with the hypocrisy of this system. All our great leaders, all our great black leaders. And then they're so manipulated and so devious, that they will have us worship their God, then they will have us worship in different means and mannerisms, that we be separated from each other. See, they know that unification is the answer to development of our black nation once again. And I'm not just talking about here in United Snakes of hypocrisy under satanic administration. I'm talking about globally. I'm talking about on the continent of Akabulan, Exium, so-called Africa. I'm talking about if we unify in this day and time like it's scheduled through the annals of our ancestors, that this is the time in the age of Aquarius. We just came out of the age of Pisces, right? Now we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, celestial knowledge, universal knowledge. And this energy is going to be prevalent. It's going to be the energy from the sun. It's going to be energy from the planets. The alignment of planets is going to create a certain situation that pure energy will be coming within this atmosphere that we're in. And we have to be ready to receive the energy of the universe in our universe. We have to understand. We have to study. We have to research. We have to go back to the ancient future and deal with our knowledge, with our information that they hid from us, that they contain in storage bins and subterranean retreats over there under the Vatican. If you think I'm just talking, research. All you got to do is research. Google it. You got the phone, the information. They ain't going to give you all the information. They'll give you surface stuff. Just like when you say Kabul, Cabal. See, they got Kabul states. And the Kabul states are hidden, like hidden governments. Like the Illuminati, that label they apply for themselves is like they're a state of enlightenment, but they're not. Their light is not real light. Their light is an artificial light. Their light is a light that they stole from us to try to keep our light. They put veils over our mentality and our eyesight to have us keep looking with the physical eye and know that we are a divine people that have a spiritual eye. And that spiritual eye must be activated in order to elevate ourselves as individuals and as a people coming together. It's all about communal living, but your development is individual, but not about the eye, not about a selfish, egotistic, arrogant individual, but a divine individual that's working on divinity, that's in the temple, which is this body. And this body is like an inner verse. Everything that's on the outside of it is on the inside of it. The minerals and all that. That's why they say you got a mind. And what's in a mind? Minerals, golds, diamond, and all that. So your thoughts and all that can become anything that you manifest in reality. And we have to do that. We got to know who we are. We got to know the power that we possess as individuals. We're so powerful that we build pyramids, right? Dig this. We build buildings that they can't build today. And see, they don't want us to know the reality of the buildings, the reality of the timeline that all this was in existence. The pyramid is so enormous and so accurate, down to a minute nano fraction of being offline. And every pyramid on the planet Earth, this globe, whether it's circular or flat, don't make no difference. Every pyramid that's on this planet Earth, wherever it was or is in a perpendicular longitudinal alignment with Sirius star or whatever, a system, and it's in alignment with the light directly coming in the center of it. We did that precisely, but they want to keep that from us. They want us to be playing basketball and football and baseball and all them balls they want us to be playing with, while they're playing with ours and controlling ours and demaling ours and like castrating and making us into eunuchs through social engineering. They taking our women and having them become so engrossed with their own selves that they say they don't need men. They don't need the brothers. That's not all of them. And the same thing with the men. They, through social engineering, they want to be attracted to men. This reality is not a natural reality. It's a synthetic process. It's not a genetic. Genetically, we stay where we at. We stay in our lanes, as they say. But I not saying anything about the humanity of these people. I'm just saying what is and where it comes from. It comes through or from social engineering. And they go further than that. They go to the point that some, or the female, go to a point, Levi Amaru X, I don't know if that's nation, Salam Alaikum or more, Salam or whatever, Hotep and Masti, thank you for joining us. But they go to the furthest extent that's going against nature in trickery and manipulation. They have a man that look so good that you can't tell is a man. I'm talking about the whole feminine thing, the whole feminine makeup, the hips, the lips, the titties, and all that. And you'd be so confused or so hypnotized that you know, and you won't realize until you get to a certain point. You'd be like, oh my God, or oh their God, because it's their God that they doing all these unnatural things. But when the way we worship in a natural way. That's not our God to do things such as that. To be in this transgender or transsexual mentality, unless it comes out that way as a hermaphrodite, then there is no thing about that, because it's a natural thing that occurred in nature. But to make yourself that way is unnatural. And I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just stating facts. I'm stating facts according to the law that you follow. And it's supposed to be a divine natural law. But their law is not that. Their law is not a divine natural law, and is a law that divides and conquers, or divide and manipulates people to not be under a divine reality. It separates the people from the people. How can it be only one creator? It's common sense, natural sense. It's one creator, the source of everything that's imaginable and unimaginable. One creator. One creator. One universal natural creator. But why do we have different religions? Does it make natural sense? Does it make common sense? Does it make religious sense? And if you research, you will see how these people went into our country, went into our communities in the ancient times and studied at our feet and plagiarized and stole everything off the walls where they say truth is etched in stone. And you can go to that right now and you can see that they're over scrubbing and trying to erase and everything. The faces off the pictures, and it's black faces that represent black people, melanated, carbonated people. And that's the reality. The reality is that we are the rulers and controllers of this world in a harmonious way, in a matriarchic, ma'at way, that we supposed to be the ones that's leading this world into harmony and peace. But the world, since it's been under patriotic control by these Europeans, the Romans, Greeks, and those so-called Jews, are the ones behind all the deception, all the manipulation, and trickulation of every nation on the planet. And we got to realize that, because the time is now. And this time is this day and age, not another generation, right here, right now, for the benefit of the next generation, so that we can be in proper control. We have to take back the control that's going to be given to us by divine decree in this age of Aquarius. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Habib. I know this brother personally, and I know you know that Alamudi is back. He home. I just want you to know that. And he told me you came down there and visited him when he was in college, and we were supposed to go together. I ain't gonna hold it against you though. Assalamu alaikum. And I want to say Eid Mubarak and post Eid Mubarak and post Ramadan. May your Ramadan have been blessed for you. But we as a people, we must come together right now in divine ways, divine illustrations, through our divine books and our divine essence. Because really, it ain't about the book no more, but we do have to have guidance about things that was written in the annals of our ancient time. But everything is in our mind, in the temples of our universe, in the chambers of the pyramid that's within us, within our body. Body is like a body of land. The temples is like where we go to pray and all that. The churches or the masjids or synagogues, the two temples. And then not only that, the universe that we have with all the cells, everything, all the minerals that's outside of us, under the ground, outside, inside of us. We got the iron, we got the copper, we got the magnesium, we got all that. Don't take my word for it. It's scientifically analyzed and told to us by doctors and scientists. But we got to be, here's another thing. Everything that we learned that they stole from us, right? We got to regurgitate it. But what do? We go in their system and work for them. Again, it's the European. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They control this system. They control this universe. But we have to understand our universe and take back the control, because we all have the essence of the Creator within us. I don't like saying God, because you turn God around as dog, and if you go into the Roman mythology of whatever, they would talk about Romulus and two dogs that become she-dogs that was raised by a she-wolf and all that, and that's where they get their thing about this God. Ours is like nature, a universal intelligent that we try to define, that we can't define because it's undefinable. And we try to give it, talk about he, and take away the matriarchic essence of everything that where we got our blessings from. In my eye, we got to go back to our civilizations, our great civilizations all over the planet where we left evidence. We got pyramids on the Colorado River that they don't want us to know about. We got pyramids in China, Japan, Russia, Europe, everywhere we've been. We left evidence that we've been there. So that's what we got to lock into and come out of their mysticism, that they want our history to be a mystery to us. In this day and time, the age of Aquarius, we must do this, because this is the time for us to do this, because everything is being ben. That sounds like a Hebrew, so I'll say Shalom. And you see how all this is coming online in the digital world? This is unification, no matter what we're practicing. Whatever reason that we're here for, and if you have something to say, just type it in, text it in. But we're here and we got to unify just like this. I know we got a Muslim, we got more, it seems like a Hebrew Israelite and all that, but we're here. You know why? Because we're black. We're melanated. That's the reason. See, the religions that they develop are man-made and political, and it's for divide and conquer methodology that they have mastered. You can see it today. We got Islam over there. We got Christianity over here. We got the Hebrews up there. We got the real Jews down here. I'm talking about, in reality, I'm talking about where we as black people are the majority in each and every one of the so-called religions. And what it is, they got us separated and divided because we ain't unifying. We got to unify whatever our methodology of spiritual practice or the divine essence or what fig tree we under. So be it. But don't let it separate us, because it's a war, a spiritual war that's going on. And they got the upper hand now because of that. They knew what they was doing when they wrote all their writings and all that, to deceive those that really truly believe and know. We got to get beyond belief and faith, and we got to be where we put our hand on concrete knowledge. I say on concrete knowledge, where the truth is etched in stone. It tells you right there, truth is etched in stone. And that's been since ancient times. So we have to develop our mind on that pathway, on that level of understanding within us that is divinely prescripted already in our DNA, in the spiral of time. Oh, man. The spiral of time is the DNA, because it's a spiral. You got 555. I always be seeing these numbers like that. In the numerology, it means something like 1111. I be seeing these numbers all the time because I have become mentally in the divine essence of myself, of the energy that came through me, of my chakra centers operational with the kundalini and the pituitary and pineal gland being activated by the melanin. So as I say what I say it because I have been chosen naturally, not going through no organization, no secret fraternity, giving oath to a man or organization or none of that. My oath is to my ancestors and the Creator. That's what my oath is. That's what I live for. That's what I'm going to live for. Because dying is not in my vocabulary, because I understand that the energy of the Creator you cannot destroy. Once here, I'll be here. I may not be in this temple that I'm in, but I don't fear death. I'm human, and I may get paranoid and this and that, and I don't want to go, because that I still hold on to being here because my job ain't finished. I don't want to be here for the years that I've been here, 62 revolutions around the sun. And if I happen to dissipate right now, this moment while I'm talking to you, what did I leave behind? What legacy did I leave behind? I ain't talking about stardom or celebrity or money and all that, but I need to leave money for my children and all that. So I got to develop some way or means to becoming an entrepreneur so I can leave some millions behind. I want to acquire 250 million to give away 200. The 50 I can do as I please because I have done what I have needed to do in charity or whatever. But I want to stay on track. We have to be a divine people because we have a divine nature. And in this day and time, that's what it is this the energy. It's about energy. And they know it. That's why they putting chemtrails up in the sky, not only to drop chemicals within our environment to mess with the environment, but also our environment as human beings. It affects us too. They got stuff in the water, and I be seeing people drinking out the faucets. I be so scared to drink that water now that I will wait till it rain to get some water before I drink out of that faucet. Because they let you know it's contaminated. And especially like up in Detroit, it was so contaminated, it was getting people sick and all that. And they ain't fixed it because it's a method of warfare. We are at war, a silent war against this system that they say is supposed to be for us. It's a system of magic. It's a system of occultism in their political circles, and especially at the high echelons, where these so-called, all of them are lawyers. All of them are part of Masonic York's rights or Scots rights. And then we got the Prince Hall rights, but that is the so-called Black Masons. I think they go to the 30 high degrees through the York and Scots rights, where they worship man or whatever. But we don't have to do that, because we are divine people. Naturally, our natural inclination is for divinity. We walk in divinity, in the light of divinity. That's like they talk about Jesus Christ. You take the Jesus off and just deal with the Christ, because the Christ is the anointing. The anointing of Christ is the light of the illumination. See, the J didn't come out until 15 or 1600. This 2018 years is based on the Christian era. So if the J didn't come out until 15 or 1600, how can somebody at the beginning of this era be called Jesus? Because the J wasn't out linguistically. They say Yahshua or something like that. Possibility, I can go with that to a certain extent. But I'm not going to be foolish or fool just because I want to live a life of foolery. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to deal with my natural sense, my common sense, and my sense that I've taught myself, not being indoctrinated in their classrooms, but reading, being directed naturally or by instinct or by those people that touched my soul or directed me, had that magnet type attraction upon me, like Eugene Manuel from Community Free School, and the brother Greg, the mathematician. No, he was an English teacher. Those two brothers that had a community free school, create community free school down Federal City College. That brother, that Eugene Manuel, was teaching me about ancient African history at that age, back in the 70s or whatever. But my first real teacher, for John D. Rand, I wanted to say Peace Hotel, the master, for joining us. My real first teacher was my friend and my comrade and brother, and Larry Weaver, Rashid. Larry Weaver was my first teacher, and he was only 2 years older than me. I say 3 at the most. Where we hung at, Uptown Washington, 16th and Newton, St. Stephen Church. Everybody came through there. We had a reverend at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, Incarnation Church, number 10 Boys Club and all that. But the thing was, this European had the mentality of John Brown in our community. And any European that has that mentality, I can offer my friendship or whatever, or comradeship. Because that man put his whole family on the line and died for us being or trying to attain our freedom for us. But all the time it always be an agent provocateur that gets scared and give information to stop the progress. So this Reverend Father Went was just like that. Here go an example of that. He allowed the first lady to be ordained as a preacher, whatever, in his church, under their brand of worship or whatever. Not only that, the original last poets. The last poets came up there too. They came up there too. The original last poets, my mentors also. But I was saying the original Black Panthers. I'm talking about the first group of Black Panthers that were about their work. Wasn't half-stepping. Was real about community work. Their whole contingent came, the whole church. St. Stephen was a big church. All of them was up there. Elridge Cleaver, Huey Newton, the sisters, Oh, I'm talking about had to be thousands. And I'm 12 years old, 11, 12, and this is what I'm introduced to. Because of this European guy that had a John Brown mentality. Not a racist mentality. None of that. In our church, man, it was something. He had a house that you can crawl under and go through tunnels and all that. So it might have been part of the Underground Railroad. I don't know. I'm just saying that. And at one time, it wasn't nothing but Europeans up on this. Newton Street is a long block from 14 to 16. But in the 60s, when I got up there, it wasn't with European no more. It was us. But that was a village. That was a village for us. For me, all the ingredients in me comes from there and stem from there. Also, at that time, I was with the Black Man Volunteer Army of Liberation. So my affiliation with my growth and development started from a very young age. And here's one more tidbit I want to share with us. In that church, they had a picture of, like, Jesus. At that time, they say he's the Son of God or God or whatever. And at that time, that's all the pictures, and all the churches had this white Jesus on the wall. Long blonde hair and blue eyes. And on this particular church, one time, Reverend was doing a sermon or whatever. I used to go up there, but I ain't go to church to be going to church. I've been going up there to laugh or whatever. I don't know, to have fun or steal a pocketbook. I don't know, when I needed some money. Yeah, I did that. I humbly apologize. But anyway, I was young. That's not my excuse. That was my life I was living at that young age. But the thing I'm trying to convey is this. With that white picture up there, right, and he giving a sermon, he said something about when he come back, you're going to have hair wool and feet of bronze. Hair wool. And I got a big bush at that time, and I'm brown skin. I look like bronze, right? We look like bronze. And I'm saying, what? And he said he's going to come back. But if he's going to come back, he's supposed to look like he black. So what is that behind you? And he's saying this in the picture right behind him. So therefore, the door of understanding was opening up for me a long time ago. And then with my brother Larry Weaver, he introduced me to the last poets. He introduced me to blackness and saying black power and about Africa and this and that and all the rest and all the political black organization. He's introducing me to Mild Taste Tongue, the Red Book, and all that. My brother Larry Weaver, he's no longer with us. He's an ancestor, my first teacher. He, in my estimators, he was one of the greatest brothers on the planet Earth. He introduced me to myself, because they say in the annals of our ancient teachings, to know thyself. So therefore, he opened that door for me, and I've been on that journey ever since. And now that I am in a state of divinity, mentally and physically and holistically, I'm on this journey. So in being on this journey, I am an emissary of the Lord. I don't get high or none of that. I ain't been high since 1985. So you ain't got to think like that as people did before. Because when I had this on and I walked in the street, people say that I was high. Yeah, I am spiritually high. I'm divinely high. And the highness that I have, I don't need no synthetic high. I got a natural high. My high is natural. I breathe air and get high. I drink water and get high. I eat fruit and get high. I think and get high. I meditate and get high. Because I am high within my mental sky. And I am an emissary of the Lord. I am a warrior for and of our people. And I'm going to speak the truth as I know it. Not as I believe it or have faith in it. And I'm not getting caught up in no divide and conquer methodology. I go through the doors of everything, Islam, Christianity, because I believe in the people that's speaking the truth in those settings. From a black, spiritual, African spirituality context. Black men, warriors. Black women, warriors. And with that, I think I'll get ready to close. I'll close, or get ready to close, with this here. A reminder, July the 4th is very, very close to us. And these two things go hand in hand. One is the beginning, both of them the beginning of a trend. I'll say a trend. We can't say a fad or whatever. Let's play the game on them, as they have us going through these fads and trends and all that or their clothing style and all that, right? As my friend Ronald Moulton would say, you talk about homosexuals and this and that, and you buying all the homosexuals' clothes, Tommy Hilfiger, whoever else, that these people are homosexuals, and you talk about these young brothers or sisters, brothers and sisters that came together because they were being oppressed, and they organized and they developed a business or whatever through their endeavors. They done made movies, wrote books and all that, and even got a business. But you will talk about them and won't support them, but you go get these name brand things that for a fact most of everybody in that industry is homosexual at the top of it. And that for a fact most of the sisters go through that stuff, or men get sexually abused or whatever, but that ain't the issue. The issue is this. I was just saying a fad or a trend or whatever, and I just went off into that dialogue because he came on my mind with that. But we ain't dealing with that aspect of it. This is what we talking about. When I say we, I'm talking about my ancestors, because they speaking through me. They speaking to me, and I'm speaking to you by divine decree. By divine decree of our Creator. Two things is fast coming upon us. July the 4th. And this is the first stage that we have to develop in our understanding, through our understanding in our universe, and make it a part of our life. That's the only way we're going to get back to our spiritual path, on the pathway of our ancestors. We have to stop practicing all European holidays. All European holidays and customs that we practice on the planet. We must stop. We must open the door, that soulful door of our pathway of what we practice. We have to do research. We know we have one thing that the brother created here in America, Kwanzaa. We know that we had that. We have to build on those principles for not just that period of time, but every day. We should be working on the principle. Not only that, we have the essence of the truth is etched in stone. We got to go back to ancient Kemet, where we have to know thyself, and that's dealing with the energy that's in our chakra centers, the energy that's in our kundalini, and the energy that's in this with this space, in this realm, in this dimension at this time, dealing with the age of Aquarius. So we have to deal with all those aspects, to deal with not practicing no European holiday customs or anything. Stop. If we don't stop, they're going to always have the hold on us, because they got us doing it automatically. Every certain time of the year, we be practicing one of their ungodly holidays. Because on the front side, it look all like a banquet of roses. But on the other side of it, it's some goddamn, what is that? Poison ivy. You know why? Because there's another story to it, and it's their reality. But they have us practicing the hypocrisy of their way through giving us the good side. But the bad side is what they really practice. Like during Easter, it's practiced is based on the sister Ishtar, and it's about fertility. They used to go practice in the woods and be all naked and stuff and count to 10 and like hide and go seek. They run and find the girl and have sex with her and all that. It was like the Lupus clan. It was like they would the clan of the wolves and all that. There's so much to it. Then Christmas, the same thing. The mentality that the European to come down your chimney and bring toys to your children. And we used to tell each other that for years. I recalled it. I was into it. Getting ready to fight about Santa Claus, about a European. And what got me, they say in Africa, they say he come through the front doors. Whoo, boy, they got us all over the world. So we got to stop practicing their holidays. Halloween, Hollyweird, and all that. Thanksgiving is, they slaughter the people. Us. They committed outright genocide against us. We taught them how to eat because they was eating each other. They was cannibalistic. It was in their nature. And then when we taught them how to, hunt and plant food and all that, they got full and fat. Then they say, let's take this land. We know how to do that. And they kill us all. And then they call it Thanksgiving. And they made a holiday out of it. This is how gross these people are, man. So these holidays, we got to overcome because then they take our money out of our pocket. We spend about $1.3 trillion in about 2 or 3 months during the holiday period from Thanksgiving to Christmas. If we take that money and hold it and develop Black Wall Streets and develop our infrastructure and develop with our spirituality and our reality, we'll once again be the people that can control society. And that's what we must do. Because if we don't, they're going to destroy the world. If we don't take the power back, or they don't relinquish the power, they're going to destroy the world. These mad scientists trying to develop a Big Bang theory. Can you fathom that? Why would somebody want to develop something that will blow up the whole world, trying to get to the concept of how the Creator did whatever in a natural way? Boy, I'm telling you, it's scary. Because these people playing with neutrons and atomic bombs to keep them to stay in power. It's like they're holding the world hostage. We don't need that leadership. So, on the other note that's related to that, we want to, again, when I say we, I'm talking about our ancestors by divine decree that's speaking through me for us as a people. I'm no better than nobody and nothing. I'm not no celebrity. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not high. I'm not none of that. I ain't gonna say I might be a little teeny, maybe a whole lot crazy or whatever. But my craziness keep me safe from their insanity, their madness. If I wasn't a little unstable to deal with this, I would be real unbalanced. I'd be discombobulated. But as you can see, if you reading this book, I done turned many pages. And if it seemed like I'm that way, then my reflection telling me a different story. My reflection when I look in that mirror tells me that I'm a servant of the people, for the people. And I had my marching orders from my ancestors and the Creator. Because I have submitted. Islamically, in Christianity, Hebrew is Jewish. And now I come into my full circle of spirituality, getting back to my beginnings. 360 degrees is what it's all about. Coming into yourself. And once you come into yourself, you have to know thyself. And it's a process. The energy, you got to know about the energy, the frequency, vibration, and energy that's divine, of a divine essence. So you have to change your thinking and change your mind and all that. That's what we got to do with our young brothers on the street corners across this nation. And everything I'm saying is related to that. Stop practicing the holidays. And this here is the massive, I need some water. Didn't have any out. A massive global boycott starting locally, nationally, and worldwide. Talking about all black organizations, black people upon the planet that know they've been oppressed and know that this is a system of racism and capitalism and that we are being exploited. We boycott to show our unification and power for 3 weeks. Excuse me. 3 weeks that we boycott starting July the 1st. So we have one essence, July the 1st, the beginning of July the 1st, July 1, we'll start a massive boycott for 3 weeks, 21 days. 1, 2, and 1 is 4, my house, and 1, 2, and 1 is 3, dealing with numbers, numerology, and all that. But on a serious note, we must do that to show our unity as a people. We must tell them enough is enough. Man, if it's not enough that they come in our community and create sex rings, if it's not enough that the police be selling guns in our community, if it's not enough that they brought heroin in our community, if it's not enough that they brought cocaine in our community, if it's not enough that they do what they do by design and orchestrate it on a timeline that they tell you to get take America. This jerk tell us he in there to take America back to when it was great. It was never great unless we was in control of it. And the other thing that they be talking about that this jerk don't be saying is the new world order that they trying to establish. They got a certain timeline. That's why they did what? This jerk made Israel the capital of Jerusalem, or Jerusalem the capital of Israel. All this is in their storyline that they have written about already to manipulate your mind. Mine too. But we can't let this be lived out or played out. We got to come back to our spiritual essence, our divine nature, and be there and fulfill the real prophecy that the Creator has put into you and me. The truth is etched in stone. Know thyself is the first law, besides self-preservation, to help build this free black nation. So July the 1st, a massive boycott. Let's do it. All organizations, let's get in a spiritual union, a currency. Let's let the switch turn on in your mind. And everybody just boycott, organized boycott to whatever store or stores that we need to do locally, globally, and nationally. And for 21 days, let's reflect and see what we caused, what effect did it have, like the law of cause and effect. That's what it got to be. We got to get into our natural endeavors and make things happen. We got to do it naturally. See, and then once we really harness the power, the energy, the frequency, vibration, and energy, we'll be able to counter their weapons with energy. But that may be a little step away, a little moment away, a little more tweaking. Because the Lord, our Lord, has opened up this dimension in this realm for that to occur. The energy and vibrations and frequencies is going to be so high, but we have to be prepared to accept it mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I say these things because I love myself and I love my people. I don't have nothing else to offer but the truth that's instilled in me from my DNA, divinely prescripted. Okay, I'll put it this way. Why am I talking this way? Why am I talking? I don't have to do this. I can relapse or revert to a lifestyle that I once lived. But I choose not to. Why? Because what's in my heart is the start of a new beginning, to be a part of a legacy, to be a part of us self-healing and showing love for our young warriors in the street. Just like the other day when the Nation of Islam, with the Fruit of Islam, along with Brothers Huddle and Blackanized Incorporated Conscious Move, went down on 22nd Street to talk and communicate with the young brothers down there. Now, Brothers Huddle has been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years with the effort of our councilman, Trayon White that in the beginnings he was a part of, still is a part of, but he's very busy. And I be running into people saying, I mention his name, oh, he ain't did nothing here and all that. We have to understand that when you're in that arena, you can't like be everywhere all the time. When he got to try to get laws passed legislatively, that's how that works. But he has a mindset of a revolutionary or active or community person. But he has to be. He's not. There's only one of them. So he's doing the best he can do with what he has to work with. And I want to thank the mayor, Mary Bowser. We say a lot of things about her and stuff like that, and what she ain't doing and what she this and that. She may be doing a lot of stuff, straddling the fence or whatever for the people that's coming here with gentrification. But just realize this: if she not in there, or Councilman Trayon White or maybe Gray, if those people not in there, then who we gonna get in there? We cannot let the European get in there because that's what they want. We had an example of that when a few weeks ago or a month ago when something was said, where did all these Europeans come from and went on a witch hunt? Look at what's happening. Don't look with your physical eye. Don't walk around with your eyes wide shut. Look with your spiritual eye. Look with the energy that's instilled in you by the Creator. To be blessed to have a discernment, a righteous discernment. And let's come together. Let's clean up our own community. We don't need the slave catchers in our community to create what they create sex rings in our community. They sell guns in our community. It ain't something I'm saying. They just been caught for doing that. Sex rings twice. But the thing is, how big is it? How organized is it? And we always want to go to our enemy to have them benefit for us. They don't really care about us, you know. We have to be willing to change ourselves first, to purify ourselves, to then purify and change our communities. That's what we must do. We got to do it. It's the time. Enough is enough. They can't push us no further. We got to take the gun down and stop using them on each other. We got to deal with peace with each other. Ain't nothing that important that you have to take a life. And when you take one life, you're affecting more than that person. You're affecting the mothers, the children, and the relatives, and all that. And see, through social engineering, they know this, and they know that, and through your anger that you want to get back. You want to play back. You want to pay back for what was done to you, and that hurt and that pain that you feel. We got to come to a point that we're going to say we can't keep killing each other. The kill mechanism in our mind got to be shut off. We got an enemy. We got to organize and be prepared to deal with that enemy. We have a natural enemy. Realize that. Study yourself first. Look in that mirror. Deal with love. Deal with healing. Stop the killing. We got to do that for ourselves so the slave catcher, the jump out squad, or whatever you want to call them, won't come in our community and do what they do, because they killing too. They killing on a large level. They even hanging across the country. And they want to say people always say, well, look what we're doing to each other. Yeah, we are doing it to each other, but what we doing to each other is through social engineering. Don't forget about the rap music, the music they have on their ears now, that still do you hear, kill you B and kill you nigga and this and that and all that. That's programming, social programming. Not only that, what we look at, the videos and all that, social programming. What you put in your body, your mind, what you read, what you eat, what you put in, gonna come out in word, actions, or deeds. Excuse me. Now this 1 second and I'm gone. I talk too much. But whatever you put in your system, words and action, what you look at and all that, is gonna come out in words, actions. What you put in is going to come out that way. And with that, I wanted to say peace, power, and a love, a divine love. And let's do these things that us call on for us to do. Let's one day put aside everything. And July the 1st, start your 21-day boycott. July, yeah, on that, and then on July the 4th, we'll have a run on stop practicing these holidays. Stop spending your money. Don't buy no fireworks. Don't go down to Miami. Don't do none of that. Find something else to do with your family can do. Stop practicing the holidays. Love y'all. I love y'all the most because we're the most high. Children of the most high because we are the most high. We got to come out of this cesspool that they put us in. They think we're fools and deal with foolishness of their foolery. But we're beyond that now in the age of Aquarius. Amen. Ashe, Hotep, Namaste. We got to get out of here. 7 o'clock, 6:28. Good. Sakamuna.